Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name's Carrie. I am obviously in a different location than my previous videos have been because I moved my office upstairs. I wanted the space for plants. It gets much better light and it gets light all day long. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna do that. It was a lot, but that's okay. I'm still obviously moving in. I've got, by moving in, I just mean like moving stuff where they need to be up here. I've got stuff like everywhere right now, and I'll do like a little tour once I'm all set up. There are a couple of plant chores that I need to do up here today though, and I thought that it would be a good time to just kind of walk you guys through maybe a couple of the plants that I have, B, what I'm doing with them, but also just some things that I've learned over the last couple of years. I got my first houseplant in, I think, June of 2023. So we are 2 years into our houseplant journey, and I have much more than the two that I bought then. And I don't know, I love it. I love talking about plants. I love learning about them, and it's just been a super fun little hobby for me. So yeah, let's just do the things that we have to do, and I'll tell you the things that you need to know if you want to start with houseplants. Cool. Okay. So the first thing I'm doing, let me back you guys up a little bit. The first chore that I have, and then I'll give you the first plant tip. That could be fun. The first chore that I'm doing is I just moved these, like I said, up from my old office. I have not wiped any of these leaves down for a lot of my plants in like a very long time. And even though I do use a systemic treatment every 8 weeks for pest prevention, sometimes that's not always enough, or I don't know, sometimes it's just not. This is a rattlesnake plant that I got. I got it for my birthday last year, but I am noticing spots on it, and I don't know, not like these spots, like white spots. I don't know if it's dust, if it is hard water, or if it is some sort of pest, but I'm going to go ahead and wipe down every single leaf with some isopropyl alcohol that I have on a paper towel. So that's what we're gonna do with this one. And I honestly think that that's kind of just what I'm gonna be doing with a bunch of these plants, just kind of trimming them. It's springtime going into summer, so some of them may need to be repotted. I don't know if that's a today thing, but a lot of them definitely do need to be kind of like trimmed up and wiped down for sure. So that's what I'm gonna be doing with this one. The one solace that I do have with this one is that even if it is pests, which some pests I'm really, like, it's really easy to figure out what they are, this plant is still giving me new leaves. And so obviously if there is some sort of pest, it is not causing enough of an issue to kill the plant, which is nice. But we are just gonna take care of it anyway. Okay, so we are done with this one for now. I'm gonna keep an eye on it just over the next few days. I will probably wipe them all down again in a few days, because if there is any sort of pest, I wanna be able to break that life cycle. We will keep an eye on that and move along to the next plant. This is a new one that I got for my birthday. It is a mini Monstera. I got this from one of my really good friends and love this plant. However, this particular one was not taken care of very well, so I think there's gonna be a little bit of nursing back to health that has to be done. But we're gonna start by just wiping down the leaves. It does have new chunky soil. It was recently watered, so I'm not gonna do anything crazy to it, but I do think it needs a good cleaning, and yeah, we will see how we can get this thing back to its like glory, I guess. Start by cutting off what's dead or dying. I'm hesitant to do too much to it, but yeah, gotta do what we gotta do. A lot of these spots are just like hard water, which is kind of frustrating, but it's just kind of where I live. It's gonna be like that. But it can make it difficult to see if it's like an issue or if it's just a water spot. So we are gonna do our best. right, this one is a Philodendron Pink Princess, and I have had trouble with her since I got her. I don't 100% understand why. Philodendrons are usually fairly easy for me to take care of, but I'm not sure. This one hasn't really, I don't know, I feel like it hasn't done very well. I don't know if it's because it's got pest issues or maybe it's just hasn't been in like an ideal environment or what, but it is now in sun, like in much better sunlight. And so I'm hoping that that helps, but if not, then I guess it is what it is. Either way, we're gonna get her cleaned and try to figure out what's going on, but it would be great if she kind of bounced back and got pretty, but if not, then we will toss her. I think that's one thing that people kind of don't go into plant ownership thinking about, is that you really honestly have to be willing to just like get rid of whatever is not working or doing well, or if it's infested, like get rid of it, because if you don't get rid of it, you risk losing more of your plants. So I've gotten rid of quite a few in my day, and I would not be surprised if this one ends up being one of them, but you really can't. I mean, there's some that I have that I'm pretty attached to just because, you know, they've been around for a while, or I really like them, or, you know, I've grown them from when they were like itty bitty, but if they start to go south and I can't kind of remedy it or take care of it, then I'm not gonna waste my time. I would rather toss it and get a new one. So I'm also not the type of person to spend like a ton of money on a single plant. I recently just got my first Thai constellation Monstera, and I got it at Walmart because they're not $150 anymore. So I'm not gonna be spending big buku bucks on plants. I don't know, I have bills to pay that I would rather spend that money on. So yeah, I find what I can that's in my price range and go from there. It keeps me from getting too attached to any specific plant as well. So one thing I am trying to be really careful of is that if I am spraying it or wiping it down with this alcohol, I'm not gonna put it in the sunlight. Oops, just broke that, that's okay. I'm not gonna put it in direct sunlight soon after I do that, just because that's not good for it. I don't want it to hurt the leaves or anything like that. Yeah, if it looks questionable, we're just gonna cut it. And that's gonna be that. With some of these, I am also gonna go ahead and spray it down with some horticultural oil, and this is just a pest control method. So this makes it so that no pests will survive. The horticultural oil is going to keep them from kind of coming back. So we are gonna try that to see if that helps at all. This is the oil that I'm using. This is, I think I got it off Amazon, so I will obviously link it below, but I do try to spray plants with this anytime I bring them home before I put them into my collection. It doesn't smell the greatest, but like, what can you do, you know? One thing that I have found to be super, super valuable in my plant ownership journey is Reddit. It's been really helpful when it comes to learning about plants. A lot of times if I'm having an issue with a plant, I will literally Google like, why is my, like, so this is new, right? I would say like, why is my begonia lucerne droopy Reddit? And it will bring me to the Reddit page if it has, you know, been asked in a subreddit somewhere. And so, yeah, that's what I have found to be super, super helpful. Since I have this here, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of trim some of it. I don't know, I did just get this. I love it. I have a begonia maculata up there that's really, really big and definitely needs a cleaning. But this one's newer, and so I'm just kind of, I've been keeping an eye on it to make sure that nothing weird happens. It is starting to get some discoloration on the edges of the leaves, and so I just wanna make sure that that's not some sort of fungus or pest, but we'll check it out. So the one big piece of advice that I would give to people who are trying to start taking care of plants is that if you want your plants to live, don't water them. And I know that sounds like super counterproductive, and some plants definitely do need constant watering, very few though. So most plants are gonna be just fine if you water them like every 2 to 3 weeks. I honestly have most of my plants on a 3-week watering cycle because what will happen is you'll water your plants and the water will get into the soil. 9 times out of 10, especially if you just get it from a big box store or something like that, the soil does not have enough drainage. And so it will hold moisture, which will then start to cause the roots to rot. And root rot is, in my experience, one of the biggest reasons that plants die is because their roots rot. And people think, well, I was taking such good care of it. I watered it all the time, and that's actually what killed it. So if you're new to houseplants and you can't seem to keep your plants alive, it may be because you're taking too good of care of it in a way. So just maybe water it a little bit less and then see what happens. All right, this is my Chinese money plant. This was one of the first plants that I got. Not the first, but when I went to a local store, it was one of the first plants that I got. This plant can be a little bit interesting because on the back sides of these leaves, especially if you are using like city water, it will get these little dots on the back and it kind of looks like bugs, but it's not. It's just mineral deposits. So that kind of freaked me out the first time I saw them, but usually this plant's pretty good. So I'm just gonna give it a quick spray with the alcohol and just let it dry just because there's a lot of leaves here. So we're just gonna spray this down and then spray it down with the horticultural oil and call it good. So this was originally marked as being a ruby ficus, but it's not. I know it was mislabeled as a ruby ficus because you can see here these newer leaves have a bit of a pink tint to them, but as they mature, this is a good example of one as well. So it's got this pink tint up here, but as they mature, the leaves start to turn a little bit more yellow and more white. And that is a different type of ficus. So it's still really, really pretty. And I would love to have a ruby ficus at some point, but this is not one of them. But she's pretty and she's honestly still doing really well. I do think there's definitely some things that need to be cleaned up on her, which is why I'm doing that. But for the most part, she's still, growing, and I may pull this leaf off just to be safe, but she still has new growth coming in, which I think is really important. That's always something to look at. Even if you're, worried about your plants, check their growth. If they're growing well and they've got new growth, then obviously they're not doing too bad. So definitely have to get a wider shot for this one. And you can't even really see the full thing. This will be the last one that I do like semi on camera, but it's a monster. This is my begonia maculata. It's my polka dot begonia. I love this thing. It has done so well. It definitely is in need of some TLC. So this one's gonna take me a bit. So I will probably just for this video, but hopefully you enjoyed just kind of watching me take care of some of my plants. Like I said before, I love houseplants and I love caring for them and I love learning about them and I love sharing about them. I don't know, talking about plants is just so fun for me. So I would love to do more of that. If you have any plant questions or anything like that, definitely leave them in the comment section. I would be more than happy to answer them. I know this is just like a very low-key, casual type video, but it's the kind that I can make because sometimes I don't have the time to do like a big production, So yeah, today I was just kind of sitting, hanging out with you guys while I took care of some plant things. I have a bunch of other plants that I need to clean, including this massive, I know what this is, this Monstera. It's been a long day. So I'm gonna do the begonia, the Monstera, and then probably quickly run through a couple of others and then be done for the day. And fingers crossed, everybody kind of bounces back and does well as a result of their care. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I would love to hear them. Hopefully you learned something, and if you didn't, then that's totally okay. Maybe you just kind of liked hanging out with me for a little bit. So let me know if you have any questions. If you want to see anything specific about plants, or if you want a full plant tour, I can definitely do that as well. I don't have as many as a lot of the people on here, but I have acquired a little bit of a collection over the last couple of years. So let me know. I would love to do that for you. I would love to have you as a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber already, post about all types of things, mainly bullet journaling, planning, and plants and things like that. I'm just kind of getting a feel for what my channel looks like in this season of life that I'm in, and I'm excited about it. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.